For more than 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter in our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingeman.
Well, we've got some exciting stories for you today. We've got some great stuff that's happening in this little town of St. Clair, just around the corner. We've got a group of celebrities. Look at this group over here. We got a fella in a very unique shirt. His name happens to be Dave Fry. Then we got a pretty lady by the name of Pat O'Connor. And down on the end in his turtle outfit is Mr. Coughlin. Welcome all of you.
Hi, Paul. Hi.
What is happening in St. Clair? Let's start with Mr. Fry.
Well, we're getting ready for the St. Clair Art Fair, the 52nd.
5-2.
5-2.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely amazing.
Yes, this year it's going to be larger than it has been for the last few years. We have close to 120
wow.
artists, yeah.
That's a good number. That's a big number.
Yeah.
You had, like everybody else, problems during COVID.
Yes.
Did you not have a...
Correct. 1 year, I believe, maybe two. It's been hard to remember after the last couple of weeks of a hailstorm.
We'll get into that.
Yes.
Okay. So 52nd, and it started out, it was in the Riverview Plaza, and then it expanded over onto Palmer Park.
Yes.
And where is the art fair going to be this year?
Well, this year on the boardwalk, there's going to be approximately 50 artists on the boardwalk, approximately 40 artists or 40 tents on inside the park near the sidewalk, where normally that's where it has been, those two spots, but we've had to increase it with the road closure to a third row of between 30 and 40 artists, depending on how things get settled out the next couple weeks.
Is this the first year for the road closure?
Correct. Yes, to my knowledge, we haven't had that done before.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
That adds a lot of booth space.
With the Jazz Fest, we're expecting quite a large crowd on Saturday.
In previous years, when there was not the Jazz Fest and the Art Association together, the art fair went almost down to the Voyager from the pump house.
Yes.
So how far are you going down this year?
We're going to the Archway.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty far down.
Yeah.
And, it's going to be very intense and fun between the courtyard and, the Archway, plus
pretty cool.
the Jazz Fest area.
Pretty cool.
Yes.
And then the lady to your left has got a flute that she's going to be playing.
Oh, nice.
Pat O'Connor, what is up your sleeve?
Well, first of all, we're delighted to be uniting with the art fair because we always saw this as being the beginning of a real art weekend, and this year we really do hit all of them.
Yeah.
Because not only do they have the art vendors, but you have live artists that will be doing live art right at that moment. The new Boardwalk Theater will have Hello Dolly going on, and then we'll have, this is technically the 8th Jazz Festival, because even the summer after COVID in March, Alexander did come and perform, and there were people there in their face masks, but because we were outside, we could do that. So we've had Alexander there every year now, but we're back to the normal Jazz Festival format, with the hope that next year will be 2 days of Jazz Festival. But we felt we needed to kind of see how all of this is going to play out. And when you throw into that mix then a million or so ducks that are going to be floating down the river.
Turtles,
that's right, turtles. Yeah, I got to get that right. Turtles. This is really going to be the place to be. It just is.
I agree.
And we've got a good lineup for the Jazz Festival that day, from 2 to 8, and it runs over 8 o'clock. But from 2 to 8, there will be people here from all over that are coming because these are nationally known acts. And just like the art isn't a craft show.
No.
It's not. It's a juried art show. It's really a phenomenal thing to be able to have all of that here.
One thing that we did not ask you was, when does the arts fair start? Is it just 2 days or
Just
3
2 days, in a couple weeks, August 19th and 20th, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Yes.
And the jazz concert is the 19th.
Yes, on that Saturday. There will be music in the courtyard sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Friday night while the artists are all setting up. So there is just so much going on throughout that whole 4 days, really for Thursday through Sunday. There's just activity going on, but all directed at the arts. And what about your flags? What is that is, I think, one of the
yes.
coolest things.
Yes, we have a couple hundred flags that have been painted that we are going to stretch along the rail of the boardwalk that people have created in the community. And we're waving to Canada and people on the river.
I love it.
Yeah, but it'll add some color to the boardwalk for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
The boardwalk is open so people can walk back
Yes.
and forth. So these are, the flags will be similar to the way they put the high school graduation
Correct.
flags out.
Yes. Yeah. We have some rope that we're going to tie onto the rail, which is apparently mariner rope. I'm not sure what that means.
Came all the way from Marine City?
Yeah. I don't know what it's doing up here, but yeah. But I just saw the headline, or
Yeah, Thornetta.
Thornetta. She's awesome.
She is. Thornetta Davis is well known in the area. She's played at the River Crab.
Right.
The St. Clair Women's League hired her one time. So she is well known in the area. And we try to always get somebody for local attraction because we know that these people attract from outside, just like the art fair brings in from outside. And I think what isn't missed here is that this isn't just the event for the day. This will bring people here who don't come to St. Clair,
Right.
who are going to find St. Clair. And when they come, they're going to see
Return.
so much and so many different things that they're going to want to come back. And that's really the whole point.
As we all know, we just lived through the offshore boat races.
Right.
And there was, count them, 11 freighters interrupting that race. But as many people said, that people come to St. Clair to look at the freighters.
They do.
And they also got a double thing. They happen to have a race going on at the same time too. So it was a very successful.
And Canada, when I was at the chamber office, I can't tell you the number of people who would come in and say, "Is that really Canada?" And we'd say, yeah, that's really Canada. It's so close. And they always thought that was funny. And I said, when I'd be in the office there, if a freighter would come by, we'd have to all stop. You have to all stop and watch the freighter. My favorite year was, I told Alexander I'd make sure there were freighters, and he was up, it was his time to be up playing, and we had 2 freighters that went perfectly like that.
Wow.
And I took credit for that.
And you should. You should.
I arranged that, so.
Well, you two have small little projects going,
Yes.
but the man on the end, Mr.
yeah,
Coughlin,
yeah, that's a big one.
has a huge project which is happening on Sunday afternoon. Mr. Coughlin.
Yeah,
tell me-
we're going to wrap up all the activities at 4 o'clock on Sunday. In fact, does the art fair close on Sunday at 4?
At 5.
At 5. Okay, so we're going to overlap a little bit. But at Sunday at 4 o'clock, we're bringing the turtles back.
All right,
Yeah.
and we've got pictures that are going up of the turtles.
Yep.
And the race itself, talk to me about it. When you
Yeah.
started a couple years ago.
This will be our 3rd year. And what we end up doing is we bring in 4 to 5,000
4 to 5,000.
4 to 5,000, little rubber turtles. And on the bottom of every turtle, there's a number. So you can adopt a turtle for $5, and if your turtle wins that race, you win $1,500.
Oh, I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
and the second place.
And you've got an hour to run back and buy something at the art show.
You do.
With
You
your
could
1,500.
do that.
If you run real fast.
Or head over to Hello Dolly and see the play.
Right.
Yeah. Or kayak.
But so it's $1,500 for the first prize, $1,000 for second, and $500 for third. and it's a great family event. You know, they drop these turtles in, and hopefully the weather is good where the river is cooperative and pushing the turtles the right way. And
the course, as you see here in the drawing, starts at the dock across from LaCroix and finishes just before it gets to Pepper Joe's. So it's a nice, simple little course and a great viewing spot.
Everybody who's on Rotary Park there will have a great seat. And we use the money to put right back into our own community. Right? We don't ship that money out to international things. It stays here. In fact, the last couple of years we've been earmarking a lot of the money for Wildlife Landing, which is adjacent to the Rotary Park. And most people don't know what that is, but it's a city-owned park right behind where the new Coney Island's going to be, and right behind Murphy's.
Where their fish is.
Yes.
Where the fish is.
Wally.
Exactly. Wally's there. So we renovated that park, made it look beautiful. This year, I heard about an umbrella, a $5,000 umbrella that's going up in that park. And I'm like, wow, what's the story with that? Well, it's not, it's more than just an umbrella. It's a giant solar umbrella, and it has a charging station. So as you're sitting there eating, fishing, having fun, you can actually charge your phone, iPad, or whatever, and it's all done by solar. It's not plugged into anything.
Oh my!
So there's a lot of improvements that we're going to continually do, both in Rotary Park and the Wildlife Landing.
You are representing here today the St. Clair Rotary Club.
Correct.
Which is and also celebrating its 100th anniversary.
100 years. Wow. 100 years, yeah. And so we're really proud of that. And granted, I'm not 100 years old yet, but Rotary has been doing some fantastic things, you know, and not only just in our community, but internationally.
Right.
So, you know, the polio was the key thing for Rotary years ago, and I think there was maybe 6 cases last year in the whole world. So, I mean, they've really eradicated that disease, but they got to keep going, because as soon as you let the foot off the gas, then, you know, all of a sudden all hell breaks loose.
A couple little things that St. Clair Rotary did in its 100 years is it built the St. Clair Inn.
Yeah.
It built the St. Clair Pool. It helped tremendously at St. Clair Legacy Fields.
Yeah.
And
Imagination Station.
Imagination Station. Been very active in the community, just like the Women's League and other groups. But this one, I think, is the longest serving one, the Rotary.
Yeah, and St. Clair Rotary Club used to have the freighter raffle.
Yeah.
So the freighters were our only real source of income. And because of COVID, they had to stop doing the freighter raffle. So we had to scramble, and we came up with the turtle race.
You did.
And well, thanks. But so this is our only fundraiser. So every dollar that comes in, we really do appreciate it. And you can get tickets locally. You can get tickets at the adoption centers. We have about 17 adoption centers throughout the city. Pretty much every restaurant has them. Neiman's Market's got them. So
and Wednesday mornings, you can get them at the Farmers Market that is sponsored by the Switch My Hat, the St. Clair Garden Club.
Okay, very good.
Yep.
Yeah, and you can find Diane there selling them, and she was moving some real tickets because everybody's got a $20 bill that they can take over there and buy some.
What's the pricing of the tickets?
So each turtle is $5, although you can buy 5 turtles for $20, and then the best deal is 15 turtles for $50.
Okay.
So, but every turtle will have a number, and you get, if you buy 5 turtles, you get 5 little certificates with each number, and you do not have to be present to win. But it is a fun race. We'll have entertainment, you know, we'll have some fun songs going on while the turtles are doing their thing. Depending on the weather, it can be a 10-minute race or it can be a 25-minute race. Basically, that's our window. So it's nothing really long. So, you know, as soon as you're done walking around the art fair, come on down, check out the turtles, you know.
All right, guys, what have we missed? David?
I think we set it up. The art fair is going to be a little different this year because we had to close down our store because of the hail damage, and we're not going to have a members market where the members of the art association have their tent or their area to display their art and sell it. But we're going to change that to a later date, hopefully Christmas,
Okay.
if things work out well.
And there will be vendors all down the street since it's closed. And I can tell you why we closed it. The nature of moving from Plaza over to the park just looked more and more dangerous for the Jazz Festival and certainly for the art fair. That movement back and forth we want to encourage it so that people can shop, they can eat, they can go look at art, they can see music, and then they can move up and down the road because we'll have a lot of well-known vendors that are there for other events.
There were some aerial
Food
pictures, aerial pictures of during the offshore.
Right.
And I was amazed at the beauty of all that crowd moving down the
Right.
street and back and forth. It really flowed well.
Yeah, it's we don't want there to be any mishaps, and
No.
that was just it was waiting to happen because all it took was one person that wasn't observant of you have to stop if somebody's in the road.
Right.
And so we feel real comfortable with that. It does mean that you might have to jockey a little bit to find a place to park, but it's all beautiful, and there'll be a lot to see from where you park all the way to where you land.
You missed mentioning one thing.
What?
The jazz show's free.
Oh my goodness, yes. Yes, I let you in for free.
Yeah,
Only me?
yeah.
Oh, I let everybody in for free. There is not many places you can see this level of entertainment and not have to pay any money to do it. So that really
you
is
can
true.
save your money and walk
Yes.
down the block and buy some
Yes.
Art or turtles.
turtles.
That's right.
It's a great idea.
Bring lots
So-
of 20s.
I have a question for Dave. When do they shut down M29?
Thursday at 6 o'clock is the scheduled closure.
Okay.
But, everything is sort of
Who
up in the air.
closes it? The state?
No,
or the
the
city?
local police.
But it is a state road. And
Yes.
so we have to follow what the state says, and that's why it has to be closed from Clinton all the way to Brown.
As it was last weekend.
Right,
Yes.
that's mandatory, and the same thing with the signage and all of that. That's all state mandated because it's a state road.
And local people are now conditioned to the fact.
We hope so.
They will
Well,
be.
I'm trying to be public relations.
We hope
Yeah.
They love it.
This is one of the events that really does bring in, I think, a great group of people, first of all. And it also brings in future people who come to our town and say, oh my gosh, I'm coming back here for dinner next week and I want to shop in those little boutiques and go buy mountains of jewelry. And I mean, we are a full serviced kind of town. There is something for everybody, but people don't know that we're here sometimes, or they've forgotten. They just simply have forgotten what a lovely, lovely
Nobody
place.
can ever forget you, Patricia.
Well, but I don't meet them all, Paul. But I mean, our gardens, just look around at the city gardens that are here and the amount of artwork that's in our city gardens. This is a really cool place. It just is.
Well, a lot of interesting people do a lot of volunteering in this community.
Yeah, they do.
And if I can, I would like to mention that our galleries are going to be closed, and actually we've emptied out all the artwork from our galleries for an indefinite period. But the people, I mean, we have an outstanding group of volunteers. We'd always like to have more, but the core group of volunteers is an amazing group of people. And it's, it's just nice to be around that type of environment.
This town is ripe with volunteers. They are everywhere, and they give and give and give. And we all know each other because we all travel as a pack. But also, what we didn't mention was our benefactors, the people who help us make sure that this is free. And I'm going to start with the one that everybody knows, the Community Foundation. They really step up over and over again. Cargill, every single time. The St. Clair Inn is even in a minute way still supporting the Jazz Fest And I know they'll become a bigger supporter because it's in their best interest to have all of us here. The St. Clair Chamber of Commerce is here over and over, and DTE. And this year, even True Blue Boutique, this little tiny boutique in St. Clair, called me and said, I want to help with the Jazz Fest.
Oh, geez.
I mean, there are so many of our businesses who always step up. Neiman's is always there with water and on, and I know that's true for all of us. I know that's
Pat,
true.
go ahead.
Yeah, and the same is true with us for the turtle. We would not have a turtle race if it wasn't for our sponsors, right? So they kick in the seed money, they kick in the prize money, they kick in any money we need for advertising
Right.
and leasing the turtles, all of that. So there's a sheet that's going to come up that will list our sponsors, but we are very lucky to have that group of sponsors as well. We have about 15 sponsors.
We do it through Volunteers Community Foundation, and we get support from a variety of people that, we're just very fortunate to have.
The Women's
Art
League.
Association, the Women's League, yes.
One final thing, you have to tell people that no turtles will be harmed.
No turtles will be harmed. In fact, there's actually a course where they will not be able to escape and hit to the St. Clair River. So we have turtle tamers. We have all kinds of boats and kayaks to keep the turtles. There will be no turtles harmed.
Folks, I don't know. This has been a fun interview. This is the guy in the middle with that conservative shirt.
I was afraid you wouldn't recognize who I was.
Well, I think you've got a lot of things that you can do on the weekend of the
August 19th and 20th.
19th and 20th. Make sure you're home in St. Clair for all the fun activity from all three of these groups, and just makes it a better town. We'll be back with our next guest, Mr. Todd Bigger, in just a second. Well, joining us for our last segment of the day is a friend by the name of Todd Bigger. Nice to see you, Todd.
Nice to see you, Paul.
You and I have been talking since about June, I think it was the earliest, but you even came earlier than that to St. Clair Rotary to talk about a project which is called
St. Clair's Hometown Reunion.
Hometown Reunion.
Yeah.
It was your gem, your idea, and it's just around the corner. 23rd of August through the 26th.
Correct.
Where are we at?
Okay. I'd like to start out first and thank you for helping to get this information out there.
Not a problem.
Without Channel 6, it would be not to the public like it should be.
Right.
The avenues to get this out is not as easy as it was a decade ago. So I really thank you and Channel 6 for accommodating.
Well, we're honored to help.
Thank you. We are now, one cancellation I'd like to start out with.
Okay.
Originally, I was looking at a 27th of August program for families and children.
Okay.
And it became a little bit bigger piece
Okay.
that I could bite off, and I had to back up.
Well, it's sometimes smart to do that.
Yeah, I'd rather
No error, no problem in saying, let's do something else.
Yeah, and that was going to be in honor of Clutcha Park and the renovation they're doing. And I want to put a big support out there for everyone who's working so hard, on that project
Yep.
to bring it back to a new life that'll support the community. So I want to thank everybody for their interest in Clutcha Park, and I apologize for having to cancel it.
Not a problem.
So I'd like to start out with where we are day by day.
Okay.
On Wednesday, the 23rd, we're actually doing a Mahjong tournament
That's fun.
at the Legion, and it's kind of a new game. It's a Chinese game, a tile game with Chinese figures. And from everything I understand, I have two sisters who play, plus other friends, and they all say there's a learning curve at the beginning.
Right.
But once they get through that learning curve, they're hooked.
And they love it.
Oh yeah, I'm getting calls now from people in Port Huron, from Marine City, from Marysville, that are Port Huron, that are going to be joining us. And it's just fantastic.
Right.
They're excited to have a tournament of like Mahjong in the area.
Okay. And that's going to be what the date again?
The date is the 23rd. It's a
20
Wednesday.
Okay, on a
Now,
Wednesday.
most of my spots are now filled up. But I'm
Wonderful.
still taking a few names, and I'm also taking a few to carry over if anyone cancels out.
Right.
So I'd really encourage people to get in touch with me if they haven't contacted me yet.
Okay.
It's evidently quite a popular
Yeah, it is.
activity.
It is.
And then in the evening, on Wednesday, that same day, the 23rd, starting at 5 p.m., 4 p.m., in the early evening, and going on into the evening, we're doing a kickoff at the American Legion in honor of St. Clair area residents and anyone who has family or friends in the area. They're invited to the Legion. We're going to have the 60 styles food available that I talked
60s style.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard of 60 styles dancing and stuff, but what is 60s style food?
Well, before the town became what it is today, and the old town, before they tore it down, we had some restaurants that had a specialty.
Oh, okay.
And one of them was the A&W, which was south of town, where
Right.
the Speedy Q is now.
Right.
And that restaurant was ran by and owned by Joe Papchak. Joe Papchak had a great A&W, and he also had a great Jobo Burger. And a lot of people remember the Jobo Burger, and they're waiting to come to the Legion on that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday during the day and up into the early evening. Jobo Burgers will be available. So we're doing that. Plus, he had a special recipe for onion rings. And we were working with his daughter to duplicate all the recipes. I tried last year, it didn't work out.
Get
with
the
Jobo
professional
Burger.
in here.
Yep, so we brought her in and a couple of the workers previously that had worked for the A&W, and they're all giving us the good information on how it should be properly.
Okay.
So we're doing that. We're doing Joe's onion rings. We're also doing the Shrimp Boat footlong hot dog. Shrimp Boat was just north of the Voyager restaurant.
You're making me hungry.
And Burgess's, we're doing their style of French fry. We're just going to have a fun time. We're doing
that's
A&W
cute.
Rooper
That's a real
floats.
cute idea.
Yeah, we got a couple other things, but we just want people to come and enjoy it, and especially on Wednesday night for kickoff. Come on over. We got a DJ coming in. I thought I could get live music, but with as busy as the summer has been for local places along the river, most of the people that I was trying to reach were already booked.
Yeah.
But
Been
we
busy.
had a Legion member step forward who does DJ,
Yeah.
and he said, I want to do that. I want to help you.
Good.
So we're lucky to have this person. That's Wednesday. So everybody's invited. It's a community event. It happens to be at the Legion.
And Thursday and Friday. We got a
Thursday
little-
is euchre tournament, and it starts in the morning. And all these flyers of these tournaments and events are at the library. So anybody who's interested can stop by the library, pick them up. My address is on all the forms. Send them to me. The euchre tournament will start in the morning, approximately sign-in times 10:15 to 10:45. Rules from 10:45 to 11, and then the euchre tournament will start. So it should be a lot of fun.
These are really great ideas.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
We're doing a cornhole tournament also. And the Legion's been very accommodating as far as hosting. I'm a member of the Legion.
Yep, I know you are.
But they're just very supportive. They're just great to work with.
Good.
And we're going to go behind the Legion. I have fencing coming in that'll block in the cornhole players. And we have places for parking for people who want to come and watch the tournament. The restaurant will also be open at the Legion for the same foods we talked about.
Yep.
And people are invited to come and enjoy.
Is there any major admission price for any of these events?
Oh, yeah. Like the bus, well, I haven't talked about the bus tour yet, but
sorry.
euchre tournament is $10 per
Oh,
person.
that's not bad.
No, and there's a late registration fee. If you come in that day, it's $15.
That's not a problem. People understand that.
Oh, yeah. And our St. Clair hometown, well, I'll cover that when we get there. But there are prices, and I'll mention them when I mention the prices. In the evening, the cornhole is $20 per person. And that, again, you can sign in on that day, or you can stop and get a registration form at the library, fill it in, pay your $20 either on the day of or mail it to me, and I'll have a record of it.
Okay.
Then we're going to go to Friday. Again, the restaurant will be open at the Legion. It starts out with a 3-par golf tournament.
Okay.
And we've taken all the 4s and 5s down at Pine Shores, used a GPS system to get the distance correct and get the location correct, so they're all now par 3. And instead of one...
You're high tech, man.
We're really up on it. The committee that I have that I'm working with were fantastic, or they are fantastic. And they've been, one of the gentlemen suggested this idea because he had also helped with one other similar format, and said it's just really a good thing. But instead of paying off one winner or two winners or three winners at the end, each hole has its own winner.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
Everybody's a winner.
a lot of door prizes.
Yeah.
We've had great support from local area golf courses, so we're going to have some golf play that's going to be a part of the raffle and drawings and different door prizes. So it's just going to be a fun time. And that's $30 if you're walking, $35 if you get a cart. We're limited to carts, unfortunately. We have 20 down at the golf course. So the first people who come
First
in that
come,
morning,
first serve.
yeah, and they'll get the golf carts. So it's important that they show up early. And sign up is at the golf course itself. So you pay on the day of. However, you can sign up
Ahead of time.
right there, so we know kind of an idea what's
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
We do have a limited number set here, but it's high enough that it should accommodate most people. That's on Friday. Then as we leave the golf course, we're going up to the Legion, who's hosting the food as well as the awards.
They're going to be busy.
For the golf outing. And after the golf outing, people and the awards, people are invited to go to the Voyager Sports Bar. It's the class of '68. It's their reunion year. And we did ours last year, our 55th. It no longer is about just your class. It's about everybody that you knew or knew.
A lot of schools are doing that.
Oh yeah, where you know the families,
Get more people
you know
back.
the neighbors. It's all about everybody you knew rather than just
Yeah.
that group. It's in honor of them, but it's going to be an invite to everybody, the public, to come to the Voyager, see some of the people from the class of '68, enjoy stories, visit. Just come and have fun.
Good.
At 7 o'clock, that's from 4 to 7 on that Friday night. From 7 to ending time, whatever that is, we're moving down to the mall. And I refer to this as Mingle in the Mall.
Yeah.
And Mingle in the Mall is a time for everybody just to get together.
Yeah.
I'll have name tags, we'll put a name on, we'll put the year they were in school. Again, it's not just you don't have to be a St. Clair graduate. This, again, is about residents and friends. So anybody is invited to come and enjoy.
It's just a group of people that are enjoying themselves and learning and introducing each other to new people that they don't know from a different class.
Yeah,
It's a great idea.
Yeah, and the public, just the people that come to St. Clair and like St. Clair, and we're a part of everybody.
Yeah.
We'd like them to come and enjoy. So it's the Mingle in the Mall is from 7 o'clock on. There's good music at that time in the mall, as always.
Yep.
But we got a good band coming in. It's an all-genre band. And on Saturday night, we have another band come in that's country, and Al Turner, and he's made some records down in Nashville, and down south he does a great entertainer, and it's good music too. So both of these are great bands.
Well, you've put hours and hours and thought into this thing from last year. Even before that, it was a gem of your idea, and you've really pushed it and worked very, very hard at it. You should be saluted.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks, Paul. I appreciate it. It's a labor of love.
Yeah, I know it is.
I've always loved St. Clair.
Right.
And I'm lucky. I'm connected to Marine City. I'm connected to St. Clair.
Right.
From my employment in Marine City and living in St. Clair and being brought up in East China. I look at everybody as one big group.
Right. Well,
so we're inviting everybody to come.
Go ahead.
The historic tour of St. Clair.
Oh, yes.
Is on Saturday morning. There are 3 times that we're doing that program. It's $6 per person. It's on a chartered, air-conditioned tour bus, preferred charters. And the museum has a representative that's going to be guiding the trip. He does a great job.
Yep.
And there's 3 different times to choose from. 8:45 a.m. for sign and check-in, 10:45 for the second bus tour, and then 1:45 in the afternoon for the third bus tour. I'm encouraging families to come. Bring your children if they're in middle school, elementary,
they'll
high
learn
school.
something.
Oh, the history of St. Clair is fantastic. Being a past member of the museum, just about the time where you think you know a lot of the history, there's just so much more that's evolving. And the people at the museum have really gone out of their way to make this public awareness about what they have to offer, including the museum itself. The trip is an hour and 15 minutes. They'll start at the museum on 4th Street. Parking's available nearby and behind the museum and on the side streets. They will depart, they will drive around, do all the visits to the sites and talk about the rich history of St. Clair. They'll return, they get off, they go into the museum, and if they wish, they can go upstairs and have a free tour of all the changes that they've made at the museum. So that's our Saturday, plus horseshoe tournament on Saturday out at Adair Bar. Anybody who's interested in the horseshoe tournament, they can sign up, at Adair Bar.
You didn't miss anything.
No, it's good. So got cornhole. I don't know if I mentioned that, but we have cornhole.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
and that's at the
Thursday
Legion.
night.
Yeah.
Yep, Thursday evening.
If people want more information, they can pick up these flyers at the library, or how else can they get a hold of you?
My number, they can call me if they have questions.
Yep.
My number is 810-329-4574.
4574.
Yeah, that's the
name is Todd Bigger.
Yep.
And he knows everything about the hometown homecoming, which is just a great project that you spurred on from a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it's finally come to fruition.
Oh, yeah. Yep, and I had a nice chance of visiting with someone the other day, and we were talking about how it derived. And years ago, I was backpacking through Scotland, and I was up in northern Scotland, and they had Highland Games going on.
Yeah.
It was a community event. And they had bike races, they had running, they had caber tosses, they had bagpiping.
They gave you the gem of the idea.
Oh yeah, and I thought how great that is because it's all ages and it's everybody and it's from near and far. It's not just limited to your area. So come on down and enjoy.
It's the weekend of August the 23rd through the 26th, and there are some small admission prices, but don't let those worry you. The fun is going to be huge. Mr. Bigger, thank you very much for coming in. That's about it for this wonderful edition of the Focus program. Lots of information for you about the art show, Art Association, Art Fair, the Jazz Festival, the Big Turtle Race from Rotary, and all sorts of good things with Mr. Bigger. Till next time, I'm Paul Dingeman. Thanks very much for tuning in.
Thanks for watching Focus with Paul Dingeman. Focus is produced at the CTV Community Television Studios in St. Clair. For over 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter to our community.